Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all
Yes, ma'am. Morning, ma'am.
good morning. Thank you. Yeah. Where is okay? So, mm, we are talking about implementation of IoT with Raspberry Pi. This implementation of IoT with Raspberry Pi, this topic is included in the third module as well as the fourth module. And yeah, so if I have, I can show you that. Yeah, you can see my screen here. So if you see in the third module, see here you can see this implementation of IoT with Raspberry Pi and the implementation of IoT with the Raspberry Pi in this third module and the fourth module. So this is a big topic we are discussing. This is taking nearly 3 classes for this. So today we finish this complete topic. So what are the things we are discussing before actually we studied about I just want to make you remember all these things. Like, already we discussed about this Python. I spoke about the Python. I told you that we are using Python for Raspberry Pi so that we can easily develop the IoT applications, so on. So I said, right? So next thing, we discussed the introduction to Raspberry Pi, and next we see after this implementation of IoT with the Raspberry Pi, I want to talk about this interfacing Raspberry Pi with basic peripherals. So we are going to do that with the three interfaces. There are three interfaces in the Raspberry Pi: serial and serial peripheral interface and I2C. So these three things we use to connect with the peripherals. Okay, so those thing we discussed after this implementation of IoT with the Raspberry Pi. So in the introduction to Raspberry Pi, we saw that Raspberry board, what are the things it has and what are the pins and everything, why it is different from Arduino. Already we have Arduino. So what are the things we can develop? So on, these are all things we discussed, we have seen already. So, and we have seen in this introduction to Raspberry Pi, in this we discussed completely about the board details, and on top of that we discussed some of the things like, DHT sensor, humidity sensors, and we discussed some of the things like, blinking LED sample project we discussed, and on top of that we discussed, with the camera how to take a picture. Just the 3 lines of code we have seen there. Okay, so we have to enable the camera option, and we have to connect that camera to the Raspberry Pi board, and so by using this code we can make the camera to click the photos, right? So these things we have seen, and in this implementation completely here we are talking, so here if we the implementation we have seen here, auto cooling system, temperature dependent auto cooling system we discussed. So how to do, just think, one idea you have, one name you have, like, temperature dependent auto cooling system means based on temperature you have to build the auto cooling system without human intervention. Okay, so that, to make it possible, what are the things you need? First, you need to know that temperature, and next thing, according to that you have to manage the room, the temperature you have to manage. So to do this kind of task, how we can do by using this Raspberry Pi? So first, just see, just for basic idea, you need a software, and you need some hardware things. just, I'm not going to the subject. Just by seeing some name, anybody can tell that, these are the requirements we need. So just like I'm talking, we need some software and we need some hardware. Okay, so we are coming to IoT now. So software, in the sense, here we are using some like Arduino, sorry, Raspberry Pi we are using, right? Our Raspberry Pi board we are using. So this is completely this operating system, whatever we are using, this comes in with the flavors of Linux. Okay, so here the operating system name which we are using for this Raspberry Pi is the Raspbian. Raspbian. This is the most popular one. Like, so many operating systems are there, but all the operating systems which comes with the flavors of Linux. Okay, so just you can understand here. Before, whenever I was explaining this Raspberry Pi, I was explaining through terminal. Okay, so it's not like a Windows operating system interface. It's not like that. Okay, so if you see, this is completely different. It has a flavors of Linux. So that particular, I told you how to download this Raspbian operating system. This operating system you can download from or Raspberry Pi official site. You can go there, and from there you can download. Okay, so from there you have to download in your PC. You have to download directly. You can't download on the Raspberry Pi system. Okay, in shell, what do you need? You have to download from your system. Okay, so from your system to this Raspberry Pi, to write that complete that operating system file, again you need some other software based on your system. Okay, operating system, like yours is Windows, so generally we use in Windows. If it is Linux, so according to that, again we need some software to be installed in our system, like Win32 for Windows operating system. So if you install that Win32, through that you can directly select this operating system, this Raspberry Pi device you can detect, and that particular file where it is stored in your system, so that you can download. These all things we can do. Okay, so I'm talking about the temperature dependent auto cooling system, right? So that for that we need a sensor to detect the temperature, and so we take the readings. Okay, so according to that we want to manage the temperature in the room. So how to manage and all, we need a fan. So build a basic thing, like we need a fan, we want to operate it, right, based on the temperature. So you are writing a program, like if the temperature is more than 20 or 30, the fan has to be on. And if the temperature is below 20, so the the fan has to be off. So this is how you are going to write the program, and these are the things, this kind of devices, or these things, this hardware, you can get it in normal market. You can get it outside. You can buy this Raspberry Pi devices and these things. So you can easily build. These all things are like little bit more interesting. If you really work on this IoT, it's very easy to know. You will get more interest, like you will have a hands-on experience on these things. So just you can try practically also. So this is just like in your real life also, this is very helpful. I think this is also very helpful in real life. And just if you want to do something like soil moisture, at least in your house backyard, you want to know that the soil moisture, and based upon that you want to water your plants. These kind of things you can do. Okay, so just you can try these things. I think these are things like little more interesting, based on, apart from your interest. Maybe you may be interested in some other development of applications or anything, or you may be interested in this, but try these things. Like you can try, because this is not having a very lengthy code also. It's not there. Just you only see for blinking a LED how many lines of code you wrote. Just minimum 4 to 6 lines, right? So not more than that. So please, I hope whatever the things here I'm talking, I hope anything, some just like any light in your house or something you will try. I'm hoping for that. If anybody tried, please let me know, that I feel so happy. So we talk now. So coming to this, in the implementation of IoT with the Raspberry Pi, here completely I'm talking about the implementation, how we are doing with this Raspberry Pi. Okay, so here for example, how the way we can do, so those things we have discussed, right? So here one example project we took, like a temperature dependent auto cooling system. With that we implemented some iot like based on this Raspberry Pi implementation we have seen. So next thing we have seen here, next thing we discussed about remote data logging. Okay, so these all things are fine, but we want to store the data in the server. Okay, so just we built something like without server, and just we manage the things, manually we managed everything, right? So we want to do something like, we want to store the data, we want to store the data in the server. So how we can do this, because one device and two devices are okay, fine, you can work with that. But when you have, number of sensors, and when you are working with a large system, you see one temperature sensor in just one room means you can manage, but you placed all the temperature sensors in each and every room in the house. Okay, so you are building a small IoT system in your house. So that data, to manage it is difficult. So you need a server, and you want to operate the particular thing in the one room itself, you can manage, but you want to manage in all the rooms means it has to be connected to the network, right? So for that the data has to reach from the client to the server. So these all process we can do with the help of this remote data logging process. So how we can do these things? For this, what are the requirements? This is a sample thing I discussed also. So these are the requirements, and the DHT sensor, for example, we are saving the DHT sensor data in the server, right? So for that, what are the things we did? Particularly whatever the device you are working, the library has to be installed first in your system. So these are the things we have seen: sending data to server using network protocols, create a server and the client connection, establish connection between the server and the client, send data from client to the server. Okay. Okay, see, first DHT sensor, I just want to generally make you know that, because if you see this, I don't understand. I just want to make you give clear idea. So you see here, first we have DHT sensor data. Just generally we talk, we have DHT sensor, right? DHT sensor, it gives the humidity value and the temperature value. Okay, those two values. First, what we have to do, those two values are ready with this sensor. That values has to reach the Raspberry Pi first. Okay, Raspberry Pi, it has to take the first values, it has to take Raspberry Pi system, it has to take. Okay, so Raspberry Pi system, it is not a server, but it is taking the values from the DHT sensor. Okay, again the sensor is different, Raspberry Pi is different, but it is collecting the data from the sensor, and that data, with the help of Raspberry Pi, we are going to store in our local machine. The local machine is, where you are storing, it is going to be a server, right? So in that server we are going to store. Okay, so before we are just talking, we are working with the sensor readings, and we are building something like we are managing the temperature and all. Later we discussed, the data, whatever the sensor has taken, that data we, in this implementation of IoT, we stored in the we are taking we are taking to the server, we are storing in the server. Okay, means local machine. Okay, just we are taking here local machine. Okay, so with the help of Raspberry Pi, we are taking the data from the sensor and we are storing in the server. So those all things we worked. Now what we are doing, what I am going to explain one more thing in this implementation of IoT with the Raspberry Pi. The data is stored in the server. Okay, so the data, what is the data? For example, here we are talking about this DHT sensor, right? So humidity and the temperature it came. Okay, so those things, and based on the light and the gases, everything, so the humidity, those all things going to be taken, right? So that is fine. So that data has reached the server. So what we have to do now, so what is the thing I'm going to do here? The data processing. Okay, here we are going to talk about some, in some certain situations, now only one sensor is connected, but if you see to that particular server, different sensors are connected, from number of sensors the data is coming to the server. Okay, so how this data processing is going to be done in the server side, and sometimes we need only the temperature value, we don't need the humidity. So that time the data has to be splitted, right? So you observed, you can see here, if you see this slide, you can see here the temperature and the humidity. So this is the temperature and humidity sensor. So it is giving the two values, but you need only one value. Okay, so in such cases what you have to do? So those are all things we are going to see now. Okay, just things. So this is completely implementation, how the implementation and everything. Just it's like, working with these things is very interesting. So for this, first we have to create a socket. Okay, and so these all things we have already seen. Okay, so this is a, if you see the result of this one, like the client takes readings from the sensor and sends it to the server. Okay, the client takes the readings from the sensor, like, the Raspberry Pi is taking the readings from the sensor and it is sending to the server, and the server receives the data from the client. The server or local machine is receiving the data from the client Raspberry Pi, and it is saving in a text file, datalog.txt. Okay, so this is how it is happening. Okay, till here we know that. Okay, so I think you are understanding. So here now I'm going to talk about this data processing. Okay, I think you may be having an idea about data processing already. You may be heard this kind of things like in DBMS and so many things you had read subjects like. So there you maybe know about this data processing. Why we need data processing? Why we have to do data process? Anybody is having idea on this? You see, one thing, data processing, why we need, just you see whatever the data we are getting from the client and different places, the sources we are collecting the data, right? So the data is not in a particular format, and there may be a chance of, leakage of data, and sometimes you may receive the half of the information when it is reaching the server. So there may be a lot of reasons, right? There may be a lot of reasons, and you have to make sure the data it came, but you have to make sure that you received the proper data or not, right? So why do we need data processing? Just you first imagine we have hundreds and hundreds of sensors all rapidly uploading their data to this remote server. So at certain instances there may be chances of data corruption. Okay, and there may be chances of incomplete data being transmitted. There may be chances of server not able to receive the old data despite the client being sent, and client sending data like the old data. Maybe like there may be a chances of missing data, right? So there may be various reasons that may not be properly formatted data. Okay, that may be the cause of unformatted data. So in those cases you need to filter the data to create seamless and well structured database. Okay, in such kind of cases what we have to do, we have to filter the data and we have to create a seamless and well structured database, right? Just whatever the data it came, just we can't store it like that, right? We need the data processing at the server. You want to store some data means you have to make sure that the data is in a particular format. Okay, whether any data is missing in that, all things you have to taken care, right? So you just can't, just temperature it gave, but it is not coming with the correct value. So then what you have to do? So it's a waste of storing the temp value. Just a temperature variable you are storing in that particular server is without value means it's a waste, right? So you have to check all the format of the data. So what you have to do for this, yeah. So here we are going to work with this data processing in this. So just see in this remote data login what we were doing before, collecting data from the devices which are in the network, and we are sending that data to the server, and we are processing the data, and we are responding to the particular network. Okay, so we see here what is the thing I am talking, that overview you see here. So a network of temperature and the humidity sensor is connected to the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so these things are connected to the Raspberry Pi. The particular sensor is connected to the Raspberry Pi, and we are going to read the data from the sensor, and we are going to send it to the server. From Raspberry Pi we are sending it to the server, means our local machine we are sending, and after that the data is going to be stored, the data is going to be saved in this server. Next the thing starts data processing. Okay, the data processing, what we are going to do with that data, we are going to data splitting, what are the operations we are performing, data splitting and the plotting the data. Okay, these are the two things we are going to do. And so just example for to see this sample one, again we see requirements like before thing, but if anybody is new they can understand. So for this, to make sure that to know this, so some before already we worked with this DHT sensor and all, right? So those are the things, same experiment, but what we are doing, the data, whatever the data we collected last time we collected, in demo remote data login I spoke about this, right? So in that what we did, we took the data from this temperature sensor and we stored in this server, right? So that is only same thing, but how we are going to process that particular data which is stored in the server, here I'm going to talk. Okay, so these are the requirements, general requirements for that already we know that we can interface this sensor to the Raspberry Pi. It's just pin numbers, like the third pin we are leaving it as a null, first pin, second pin, fourth pin, sensor to the this DHT sensor, first pin we are going to connect to the voltage pin of Raspberry Pi, and next 3.3 voltage pin, and next DHT sensors second pin we are going to connect with this any data pin. Here just I'm taking I'm saying example 11th pin, but any pin you can connect. And pin 4 we are connecting to the ground pin. That's it. And see here, so to work with that particular sensor we need the Adafruit library. And so please guys, one thing I want to make you understand, when you are writing the answers, just learning some theory subjects or anything, I don't know, but here I want to talk about this IoT only. So here this is like something interesting which is like useful in the day to day life. In real life you can implement anything, it is related to real life. But if you see, this is like don't learn it like just like a this is a subject and don't leave it just like that. It's like something very interesting. When I was studying I didn't have this IoT. Really, if I had, I would be so happy. This is like very much interesting. You will learn Java, you will learn C, you will learn Python, so many programming languages you can learn. But what you will do, how many people are but you will just build some applications and everything. Those things are also good. But here if you see, just you are making something in the house, or something you are making which is more advanced to your the already things which are existed in your house or something. It's like little bit interesting, right? And here you are not writing so much code. So like this you can get better, I feel. So, and this is not a subject like you can learn and leave it. It is not useful. It's not like that. You just see somebody implemented something, you may hear that kind of news or something. So that in such cases, if you do some little bit things, it makes so much different. I want after even the subject is over, but I want you to concentrate on this subject, and I want you to do some things like if you are not interested in IoT or something, but you just do some things like which are like at least like a DIY or something. It will be useful in that case also. Like you can do something in your house or in your any place, like if you have any workplace, there also you can do some things. So please guys, don't neglect this subject. This is really very fun and good. It's not like a difficult subjects, it's like easily you can learn. Okay, so please, I'm suggesting you to don't neglect this subject, please, everyone. And for your engineering, really it is worth to learn these kind of things like programming. And these things are really very important. If you learn some programming, something if you do, it is like really important, good, right? Like if you're building some application with your some Python programming is really interesting. I also like that programming very much. So if you are building something, some application with that Python, some small applications, and already this HTML, CSS. So if you are trying, you have laptops and everything. So sometime 1 hour, like all the time you will spend for something straight with family, everything you will spend at least half an hour sometime. If you take and building something, next year final year is coming, and some interviews you can talk something little bit different from other people, I feel. So I'm expecting you you will do something different. So please guys, follow all these things. I want you to be very active and good at the things, and nobody is like some people maybe feel I don't know these things. So other people knows, my friends knows so many things like this. You people may think, but nobody knows anything. Everybody starts from beginning. So please, guys, it's not the time is over. It's not like that. Now itself means you can start it. If you are not starting now, means nothing, right? If you're not starting now, means if you think that it's late, I mean third year still I didn't do anything, already my BTech is going to be over, it's not nothing. If you're not starting, it's like, it's the thing is really. So please, guys, utilize your time, don't waste your time. At least half an hour or 1 hour you give for yourself, just give for yourself what you want to do. So those things please concentrate, and so better things you can do. Okay, so we come to here I'm talking about sending data to a server, right? So how we can send data, already we have seen. Here I'm not talking anything new. Sending data to server using socket programming. How we can send data to the server? So for this we need socket programming. So first we have to create the socket, we have to create a client and the server. Okay, so first thing we need a client, and you have to make sure that you local machine you are using as a server, or anything else you are using as a server. So first you have to create that, and you have to create a client as well, and establish the connection between the two things, and next to send data from the client to the server and save the data file in the server. Okay, so now data from the client needs to be processed before it can be used further. Okay, so data processing, here I'm talking the data which already stored in the server. So before all the things are over and we came to the server, the data is ready in the server, and so here I'm talking about the data processing which is stored actually. So this data which is came from this client, it needs to be processed before we use it for further, right? So what we have to do this data process, we are going to do data splitting. The particular data which we got already, we can do the data splitting, data filtering, data plotting, these things we can do. So we see here data processing. In this data processing, first thing we are going to talk about data splitting and filtering. Okay, so data from the client, first imagine data from the client is saved in a text file. Okay, just think the data which came from the client, it is stored in the server in the text file format. Okay, so the values are separated by a comma. Okay, so the values are separated by a comma. So the data which is stored in the, suppose you think CSV file you store, say CSV file you saved, and when you open, so you can see that with the commas you can see that this is a comma separated file. I'm hearing some voice from your side. Who is that? Okay, so whoever, please note. Okay, so here that the data here, what you are going to do here, we are going to separate the data by comma. Here the delimiter, here I'm giving comma. In Python, if you see, I don't know whether you had Python before, I don't know this, but in Python we have delimiter. Through delimiter you can separate the string, that particular data you can separate, like 1 2 3 4, and again that 4 is repeating. Just think, in your particular data the 4 is repeating, so then you can take as a 4 with respect to the 4. If you want to split your data, you can split, and if you want to split the data like only just by giving some delimiter like points or comma or anything, like by question mark or anything, if you want to separate also, you can separate by using this delimiters. So here the data is in the format of humidity, and it is in the string format, and the data is in format of like humidity plus temperature. So we need only one thing, right? So only humidity or temperature we need, but not the both the things. Okay, so for that, what we have to do when you're working, so we have to use a split function. This split function is in the Python. Okay, here completely we are using Python for Raspberry Pi. Okay, this split function can be used to split a string into multiple strings. Okay, depending on the type of separator or delimiter specified, whatever you specified. Okay, we here suppose we are specifying comma. We see one example here one example program also there. So here data is equal to Sunday, just single quotes. In the single quotes one string is there. Okay, complete string. within the single quotes means that can be treated as a complete string, even though it is separated by comma also, it is a complete string, right? So because within the single quotes it is there, like if after this single quotes if you keep comma, so we can treat it as a different different data, right? Different string we can treat. Here if you see, the Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, these all things are separated by comma, but this is a one single entity, right? So data is a string with 3 words separated by a comma. Okay. So next thing in the next line, data dot split. Okay, the data is going to be split by delimiter called comma here. Okay, split the data wherever a comma is found. So where after Sunday comma is there, after Monday again comma is there. So what will be the output? Here if you see the output, we get output like Sunday and single quotes comma, after that again Monday, and next again Tuesday. So this is how the data is splitted, right? Gives 3 different strings as output here. Okay, so this is a thing. And one more thing, so here plotting the data. So for this splitting the data, we have function like split function in Python. So for plotting the data, so this all things helps for the data processing based on your requirement. What are the things you want to do? So these all things are going to be helpful. So here plotting the data. Plotting the data, for this we have a matplotlib library. Okay, this is provided by Python. Like this matplotlib library, it's like same like MATLAB you have, that MATLAB you had or don't know. So in that also this kind of library is there, same like, but here little bit different from that. So that we no need to know about that one. So just we see here in our Python we have this library. This library helps us the data, we want to plot the data, right? We want to need the data in the plotting format, right? So we want to plot particular data. So what way we can use this library? And so there are some functions in this library like plot x comma y. When you give this function plot x comma y, it plots the values x and y, and x label x axis, it labels the x axis, and if you want y axis, next y label y axis you have to give, so it labels the y axis. Just you have the data you want to show in a graph format if you want to show. So these are the library you can work with. Okay, so title, if you want to give some title, so that you have to use title simple plot, so then it adds the title to the plot. So these are all the things you can work with. Please once if you have time, you just check with the libraries, Python libraries. Okay, here just sample one we see here, plotting the data, example one. See, there are no much lines of code, whatever this things I'm talking about this Python and IoT related things, in single few lines we are finishing the programs. That is the advantage of using Python here. So for plotting the data, for sample data, if you want to plot, so this is how you can write the program. Import matplot library dot pyplot as a myplot, maybe it is a variable myplot. Okay, so myplot dot plot 1 2 3 4, we are giving just values till 1 2 3 4 values we are plotting. Okay, next thing, here we are giving y axis. Okay, here we are giving y axis and we are asking to show that particular thing. Okay, so here we see this is how after that program, when you run that particular program, this is how you can get this particular figure. Okay, so next here we talk about some other functions we can use in this plotting. Okay, so before we have seen this kind of things like a label. So these are the functions we have seen: plot x comma y, and y axis, x axis, and title. So these are all things we have seen, right? So some other functions also there in this which are helpful, like figure function, grid, ion, subplot, close, scatter. Okay, if you want a different flat plot, like you can use a scatter plot, make a scatter plot of the given points, and figure creates a new figure. Grid enables or disables axis grids in the plot, turns on the interactive mode, and next add subplot in a figure, close the current figure. So I just now you are not going to work with all these things. So this is like sending data to server from client. We are sending the data to the server. So this is the thing we already spoke in this previous lecture. Okay, So sending data to the servers. In the server, the data has reached in the server. Okay, the data has been reached the server. Here, like, first it accepts the two arguments in this data and I, this, split, and it is going to split in terms of two parts, h comma t here. So here it is going to split in the two terms, like, humidity and the temperature. Here it is going to split, and after splitting, the data was in CSV format, right, actually. So CSV format. So here, zeroth element will becomes humidity, and the first element becomes the temperature. Here already we gave humidity 0, we gave index 0. So index 0th element will becomes humidity, and the temperature, it becomes the one first element, in the index of one element becomes the temperature. Okay, next, if you want to print temperature, just to print temperature and the iteration number here. And next, then you start the interactive plot mode, and you set the figure window size to some, you can set the figure window size, because when you are perfect with these things, these all things you can do. This is just a basic thing, you make sure like you can draw in this way. Okay, if you want to do such kind of things, like it based upon your interest, like, just before I show you, this is just sample small program. Okay, this is just a small program, you can work with this, right? So like this, if you want to make more things, then you can just, this is a sample program. If you want to work more things, like, you can use this. Okay, so the server side, the data you want in this kind of format, you can do this, right? So this is a server side program, which is again we discussed in the previous lecture, right? The data we are splitting to 4096 byte chunks here. This is the the data whatever we are receiving, that is in the 4096 byte chunks it is actually. Okay, so here we are opening a data file, and so what we are storing the data to it, and additionally we are calling this function plotting function, and this plotting function is called again and again. So here you can see that plotting function is called again and again here, coverage plot mesh comma I. So this all things, if you see, after the connection of client closes, here this function is going to be closed. Okay, so this is all the things which are from server side, and you can work even with the previous program which we discussed in the implementation of IoT. Okay, so if you want in the particular diagram figure, you can draw these things. Okay, so you see here, normal output. Okay, normal output, if you see, the reading from the sensor is sent to the server. The sensor is sent to the server and saved in a text file. Okay, from Raspberry Pi is going to take the values from the sensor, and that is going to be sent to the server, and that going to be saved in the server in a text file. Okay, in the text file it is going to be stored, and two different plots for temperature and humidity data. Okay, so we will be having two different plots for temperature and humidity data. Okay, so we have the two things, right? So because if here we are splitting the data, here we used the split function. Okay, here humidity split and temperature split we gave. Okay, so that is why we are getting the data two different values, two different plots for temperature and the humidity. Okay, so here for temperature is different and for humidity is different. If I'm not splitting, if I didn't use any split function, then we are going to get this data in same figure. Okay, in the same thing, we are not in the same plot we are going to get, but here we got the values in different plot. Okay, two different plot we got, otherwise we would be getting in the same plot, right? So this is how the data is separated. Okay, so this is how working with this. And if you want to make it more better, the data, and you can use different things in the Python. It is much more powerful with the libraries. It has a different very powerful libraries like matplot library, and different libraries before we were seeing, right? So this is the thing which is very easy, and anybody can code. If they are really concentrated, they can code easily in this. Okay, so this is how you can work with this. Okay, so next thing, next topic, we talk interfacing Raspberry Pi with different basic peripherals. Those topic we are going to talk. After that, one more topic I want to talk, software defined network. Okay, that is the very advanced network. What is that software defined network? You should know. You are just talking, only topologies. What are the topologies are existing in, is it in the mesh topology, devices are connected, or star topology, ring topology, some these things only, right? So just we see what are the things are happening. This is a new thing which I'm going to talk, software defined network. So please come to all the classes, then only you can understand what are the things. And if you have any doubts, if you are not satisfied with what I explained, please you can ask me any doubt. You can interrupt me, or if you want to ask, if you don't want to discuss in the class, just you can ask me, madam, I didn't understand, means at least for 5 minutes time I can give for you. I can more than 5 minutes or okay, just I'm okay to give you time. Please you can ask me if you are really interested, and I suggest you to learn all the programming languages with interest, because that is very important. Okay, so for today I'm ending the session. For now I'll take the attendance. After that we can leave. I will call the numbers. So 18 says 550,
Present, ma'am.
55, 55,
55 present, ma'am.
503, okay, I call your number once, in the sense I took your attendance. Don't worry. 505,
Present, ma'am.
508,
Present, ma'am.
511, 512,
512 present, ma'am.
523,
Yes, ma'am.
528,
Present, ma'am.
540,
Present, ma'am.
543,
Present, ma'am.
544,
Present, ma'am.
549,
Present, ma'am.
554,
Present, ma'am.
53,
Present, ma'am.
5C4 17 says, 516, Adarsh, 17 series 506,
Present, ma'am.
517,
Present, ma'am.
536,
Present, ma'am.
518,
Present, ma'am.
551,
Present, ma'am.
16 series 582,
Present, ma'am.
534,
Present, ma'am.
17 series 582, 509,
Present, ma'am.
524,
Present, ma'am.
17 series 5C7,
Present, ma'am.
501,
Present, ma'am.
539,
Present, ma'am.
511,
17 series, ma'am.
yes, 17 series,
Present, ma'am.
519,
Present, ma'am.
542,
Present, ma'am.
22,
Present, ma'am.
56,
Present, ma'am.
45,
Present, ma'am.
15,
Present, ma'am.
41, 46,
Present, ma'am.
57,
Present, ma'am.
17 series 56, 58.
Present, ma'am. 558. Ma'am,
Okay. Yes.
have you given us the marks of the meets?
Yeah. Okay. I think you all subjects marks you got it,
No, ma'am.
but okay.
Only 2-3 sir. Agree.
Okay. Tomorrow we have class, right? In that class, please, I'll show you. You will also make, please, once you remember, okay?
Ma'am, if you have any PDF or any document of the marks, you can just send it to me. Ma'am. I'll forward it in the group.
Okay, sure.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, fine. 5D4 17 series. 513, 504.
Present, ma'am. 504.
513, present, ma'am.
Okay. 538. Vivek.
Hello, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
17 series 5D for present, ma'am.
I got your attendance.
Ma'am, 17th series 5A2, ma'am.
Yeah, I got your attendance. I called your numbers.
Okay, like we didn't hear, that's why, ma'am.
Yes, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So for today, I'm ending the meeting. So please don't miss tomorrow class. We discuss something more interesting. Okay, thank you so much.